Boker Tov. Good morning. It is the 4th of September 2018. Doesn't the time fly? And it's time for a Messianic moment with yours truly, Stephen Brock. You like my Cozumel shirt? It's actually quite comfortable. And I had a lot of fun negotiating with the guys in Cozumel for the price of the shirt. You got to do that. It's just so much fun. And no Jewish jokes now because I'm So anyway, I want to thank you again for being here. I really appreciate your being here. And as always, please subscribe. Go to the right side of the website page and subscribe. And if you're on the video, obviously you're on the video, go to the bottom right-hand corner and click on the Messianic Moment icon, subscribe there. But again, if you're on the video, please make sure you subscribe to the website too, because I don't always do a video. And it's really important you subscribe, not just to help me get my message out, assuming, of course, you like what you hear, but because I'm going to be getting my new book on Kickstarter this afternoon. My buddy Travis, who runs my website, is going to come and help me set this thing up. And I will be able to send out a blast email to all my subscribers and all my friends and family who haven't subscribed yet to let them get a chance to get some really good deals, not only in the book, but to help support this ministry through that book. So there'll be good deals on the book, on multiple books. You'll enjoy it. So that's the administrative stuff out of the way. Let's get to the meat of today. So I was reading John, the Gospel of John, Yochanan, nice Jewish boy, a couple of weeks ago, and it came to me that I was reading chapter 8, which is verses 1 to 11, which is the story of the Pharisees and the Torah teachers bringing the woman accused of adultery in front of Yeshua. Okay, now, they were trying to trap Yeshua in a way that they could bring charges against him. And in the story, you're probably all familiar with it, Yeshua writes in the sand. Then he asks whoever is without sin to cast the first stone. Then he bends down, writes some more in the sand, and by then all the accusers leave. And the woman was then left all alone, and he told her, Zeitkus, and get out of here. I've heard some people use this story as a means to show that Yeshua is all about love, and more about love even than obeying the Torah. And that love is now the Torah of Yeshua. And they repeat that old worn-out analogy of how hateful and violent the God of the Old Covenant is versus loving, compassionate, and forgiving Messiah of the New Covenant. All right, well, that's not where we're going to talk about today. We're not going to discuss that at all today. Today, what I want to talk about is the unanswered question. What did Yeshua write in the sand? I think I know. I do. This is an epiphany that came to me. I love the Bible. You read it, and then all of a sudden, boom, something happens. So let's start with some assumptions that I think you'll agree are pretty safe to say. Assumption 1. Yeshua probably knew they were trying to trap him. I mean, this wasn't the first time, and it's not going to be the last. And 2, there was something fishy from the start. I mean, something wasn't kosher here because there was no man brought with the woman. I mean, if she was caught in the act of adultery, there had to be someone else there, right? So, here we are. All the people Yeshua was teaching are standing around, and all of a sudden this woman is thrown in the middle of the crowd. The Pharisees ask Yeshua, she was caught in the act of committing adultery, what should we do with her? And he bends down, starts to write in the sand. Then he gets up, and he says, the one without sin should be the first one to throw the first stone. So, before we go any further, what do you think he wrote in the sand before he said that? Well, I think he wrote from Exodus 20:19, the 9th commandment. Do not give false evidence against your neighbor, or you might know, do not bear false witness. Then, after he said, whoever is without sin, throw the first stone, I think he knew that throwing the stone would absolutely convict the thrower of a sin. And the reason is because these are Torah experts, and the Torah demands that a trial must be held first. Anyone who threw a stone would have been in violation of the Torah. And after this, he again wrote in the sand. And this time everyone started to leave until no one was left but the woman and Yeshua. So the second time, I think he wrote from Deuteronomy 19:16 to 20. Let's take a look at what that says. Let's see if I can get this right. If a false witness rises against any man to testify against him of wrongdoing, then both men in the controversy shall stand before God, before the priests and the judges who serve in those days. And the judges shall make careful inquiry, and indeed, if the witness is a false witness, who has testified falsely against his brother, then you shall do to him as he thought to have done to his brother. So you shall put away the evil from among you. I'm back. So if the reminder from the Torah about not giving false evidence, in other words, bearing false witness, at first didn't scare them off, then this one certainly would have made them think twice. And because it says brother, that law would obviously hold true for sister as well. Now I believe the woman was falsely accused from the start, and Yeshua was aware of this. I don't have anything to go on but speculation, which is based on the fact that there was no man brought with her, and that we know from reading the Gospels that the Pharisees were not above using false witnesses to achieve their goals. And even if she was an adulteress, this was not the proper setting for a trial, and Yeshua was not in a position of authority with the right to judge her according to the Torah. And one last thing that is really important to remember, Yeshua never forgave her of the sin she was accused of. He simply obeyed the Torah, which says that there must be 2 or 3 witnesses when there is a capital crime committed. That's Deuteronomy 19:15. Yeshua asked her where her accusers were, and she said there was no one. In accordance with the Torah, Yeshua said he would not accuse her either. And when he told her to go, he said, and sin no more. Maybe this was because Yeshua knew she was a sinner. I mean, aren't we all? Maybe there never really was an affair. Maybe there was an affair, but she was seduced into the crime to set up Yeshua this way, in which case it makes sense that they would catch and hold her and let the man go. Who knows? I mean, that could make an interesting drash some other day. But today, all I'm talking about is what he wrote in the sand to make everyone go away. And if Yeshua wrote the things in the sand that I have postulated, then the entire story really makes sense, doesn't it? What do you think he wrote? So, that was my epiphany. I hope it is interesting to you. I hope you enjoyed it. And again, please, always, agree or don't agree, don't feel at all constrained about making comments. I love comments. I love discussion. We can do this. I'm going to post these on my discussion groups. You can make comments in the discussion group, but I would really appreciate it if you could go to the MessianicMoment.com site, look up the Drash for the day on this, and make comments on the site, because this way everybody who sees that webpage can share in our comments and discussion. And as always, you want to disagree, you want to agree, it's all good, but be nice. So thank you. Toda Rabbah. Thank you very much for being here. Again, share me out. Get the word out there if you like what you're hearing. Don't forget to look for the release of my book on my Kickstarter account very soon. And don't forget to subscribe. Again, thank you very much. Lehitarot, which means I'll be seeing you soon. Baruch Hashem.